Hey again, everybody. Fly on the Wall 4K back at you with another food review. Today we are checking out a local restaurant as part of my series where I'm trying to try more local places, not only chains, but places local to where I live in the Chicago suburbs. Today we're looking at Nawabi Hyderabad House. Please excuse my pronunciation, but it is an Indian biryani house located in Buffalo Grove. They have multiple locations throughout the northwest suburbs and throughout the Chicago suburbs in general. We are checking out the Buffalo Grove location. Let's go check this food out. Now, I'm trying to sort of set a standard for the way I review these types of places where I have some commonality in what I do. Obviously, the cuisine will be different from restaurant to restaurant, and the specific dishes they offer will be different. But in order to make comparisons from one place to the other, I want to have some commonality in the process in which I do this. So to get a thorough sampling of the menu, I will be reviewing at each place that I do one of these reviews on. One appetizer, one side, one signature dish that is sort of signature to the place. For example, this is a biryani house. I will be reviewing one biryani. One thing that catches my attention off of the menu without any bias of reading reviews or anything like that. And then one staple dish, something I consider a staple to the cuisine. For example, in Indian restaurants, you often see butter chicken. That's what I did for this one. And I will be doing that for all the Indian restaurants I review because that's probably the very most popular dish you're going to get at places. If they don't make a good butter chicken, it's probably not a super quality restaurant, right? With that groundwork somewhat established, let's go check this food out. Hi, I have a pickup. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. So for starters, I got an appetizer. I went with what is my favorite Indian restaurant appetizer. I typically go for a good chicken 65. If a place does a chicken 65 well, to me that's a sign they're going to be doing everything else well. I've been to a lot of Indian restaurants that don't do chicken 65 up to satisfaction, but my very favorite places have an absolutely exquisite chicken 65, so I got that. Let's check it out. Now, as I take a bite into this, I have to be honest. This is a pretty underwhelming chicken 65 to me. It's got a bit of a granular texture. My favorite chicken 65s have a good degree of crisp to them. This is fairly soggy. I know I did get it as takeout, so I'm keeping that in mind. But my other favorite Indian places are able to execute it on takeout, and I got it in a pretty timely manner. The other thing I didn't love about this was the overall flavor. To me, my favorite chicken 65 has a really good balance of cilantro and then a citrus bite in addition to the spice flavors. To me, this had strong notes of chili powder and almost, I want to say, artificial or not fresh garlic. Too much garlic for my personal preferences as well. I didn't love the overall texture of this. It had a little bit of a stringiness. So to me, it wasn't a great start with this chicken 65. For the next thing I tried, I got a signature dish from the restaurant, which in the case of this being a biryani house, I got a biryani. I went with the chicken dum biryani. I got the budget variety, which runs $12. And I have to say, overall, the presentation on this is really nice. It's very good looking. You can see the long grains of basmati rice and the different colors, indicating some nice seasoning. I'd say overall it was very flavorful. I was longing for a little bit more chicken, but I had my expectations reasonably tempered with it being the budget variety. In this case, you get one moderately sized piece of chicken, which for me wasn't enough protein. I added some of the chicken 65 into the biryani as well. But I was a big fan of this one. It comes with a raita or a yogurt and a salan, which in this case to me reminded me of like a thicker chicken stock or chicken broth. It had chicken flavor to me. Both of these really enhanced the biryani. On its own, it was aromatic and spicy, and to me, it was a good biryani. I'm a big fan of biryanis, and I thought it was well executed in this case. And for being a biryani house, they certainly live up to the name in that aspect. I liked this a lot more than the chicken 65. Moving on, I got something that piqued my interest on the menu. As a curry lover, to me, the thing that caught my attention was their karai kudi chicken curry, which is a chettinad-style chicken curry. I have to say, overall, this was well presented. It looked really good, and it tasted really good. There's a lot of complexity and spice going on. To me, it seems like it's heavy on cumin and those types of spices, a lot of chili powder, and very aromatic in general. It has a sweetness to it that reminded me of either cinnamon or nutmeg. From what I could read about this type of curry, that is to be expected. Overall, the chicken was tender. There was a good complexity to this curry, and I enjoyed it overall. I will be honest, it's not my personal favorite curry dish I've had, but that's a little bit more of a subjective matter. It was definitely well prepared. It came with basmati rice, which was well prepared as well. My test to see if basmati rice is good is, first of all, is it sticking together? There's no reason it should. It absolutely wasn't. It was nice and flaky, but each of the grains were separate and it was well prepared. There's a little bit of an aromatic flavor to this rice as well. It had sort of an anise type of note to it, almost like licorice coming through in there. You could tell some spices were added. Not my personal preference for basmati rice, but I was glad it came with it and it was a good texture. I just didn't love some of the little bit of essence of flavor that was in there personally. I like more like a cilantro type of vibe with my basmati rice. So not my personal cup of tea. The rice definitely complemented that curry well. The next thing I tried on the menu was what I consider to be a staple dish. I got the butter chicken, and it was very well presented. Looks really appetizing to me. My mouth was watering when I got this, and it's got a good flavor to it. It's not my personal favorite butter chicken I've had. It seems to lack a little bit of that overall butteriness. I didn't taste like the ghee type of flavor that I get from my favorite batches of butter chicken I've had, but it was enjoyable. To me, it seemed like it could be interchangeable with a tikka masala. Overall, a good tomatoey creaminess to it and a very enjoyable dish. I got medium spice level, and they honored that. It seems like they're good at accommodating your personal preferences when you order for the spice level. You can check sort of a spectrum of how hot you want it to be. Last thing I tried was a side, which in this case I got a bread, a paratha. That's my usual go-to at Indian restaurants, and that's my personal favorite type of bread to get. And this one was nice and flaky. It had a good internal doughiness and good flavor overall. Nothing to complain about, and a well-rendered paratha in this case. Overall, I dug the experience of going to Nawabi Hyderabad House. The Buffalo Grove location was well run. My orders were on time and ready in an efficient manner. The service was friendly and quickly attentive. I have to be honest, I don't think this is my personal favorite Indian restaurant I've ever been to. It's kind of middle of the pack for me. The prices are in line with other Indian restaurants that I think are better and have a higher quality of food in general. But the biryani was my favorite part overall. I thought that was quite memorable, and I would get that again if I were to go here again. In my opinion, there are better Indian restaurants out there, but I'm not trying to throw shade at them. That's just my 2 cents, and I hope I'm not coming off as disrespectful. I did enjoy the overall experience, and I can say this is not a bad restaurant whatsoever. At that sums up my thoughts on the Nawabi Hyderabad House. I hope you found this review helpful and informative. And if you've been to one of these locations, let me know in the comments what were your thoughts. And is there something on the menu I missed and should try next time if I go back? At that, thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more food reviews, both chains and local restaurants like this in the Chicago suburbs area. At that, I will catch y'all in the very next video. Peace.